can you give me a one-sentence definition of the metaverse?
Basically, metaverse is a totally immersive virtual experience which is far greater than the VR, AR experience with the 3D virtual representations of avatars.
Metaverse is very different from person to person, and if you ask 10 people on the streets, nine will say they don't know what's metaverse, and one will drop some definition, but you will find different definitions from person to person. And for me, personally, metaverse is interchangeable definition with, let's say, cyberspace or virtual world, and that's the way to describe it shortly. And in that sense, I include in metaverse such things as gaming, as crypto, because crypto powers this virtual world, and gaming is the fundamental feature of metaverse in my point of view. And another important thing I want to mention here is that metaverse doesn't refer to any particular technology like other things in techno space, in high tech, like internet. We know that internet is mainly about transferring data packages from peer to peer, but metaverse doesn't have any particular technology, so it's good to have some interchangeable words, as I mentioned, like cyberspace.
There's still a journey where we're trying to understand what metaverse means, what it is. You know, in 2020, you had collaboration software. In 2021, metaverse. In 2020, you had a social website. In 2021, it's called a metaverse. In 2020, you had a shopping site where you could go and shop with your friends, and now it's a metaverse, and so on. So everything's been pivoted and rebranded as metaverse, which creates tons of confusion and lack of clarity about what the heck is a metaverse or the metaverse. So one of the things that was driving me crazy late last year was the fact that it was being used as a singular and a plural at the same time. Really hard to create clarity for people when you like, are you talking about all the metaverses, that metaverse, the metaverse, you know? So I started with the simplistic approach where I said, the word metaverse with a capital M represents the singularity, the container of all others. There's only one of those, and it's not an object or a thing that anyone owns or anything. It's just it's a concept. And then the lowercase metaverse is simply an experience that a company or a person has built, or a group has built and made available to be used by themselves, by others, whatever. And it's inside the collective.
Is it possible to have a one-sentence definition of what is the metaverse?
I have my own one-sentence definition of the metaverse, in which it is, I call it, and I think of it as the post-text internet of experiences.
Post-text.
Yeah, because the internet as we know it is text-based, it's keyboard-based. But one of the very important things I think about the metaverse is that it is post-text. It's about images, it's about three-dimensional objects, it's about moving through spaces. There's not a lot of written words in the metaverse. And there's all kinds of implications for that. What does a search engine look like in the metaverse? What do you search for? How do you actually create it? But it also, another implication is that it sets us free from the keyboard. And I think that's actually going to be an extremely important development of the metaverse as we move into a more immersive, experiential way of interacting with our computing. We're really going to have to rethink a lot of the things that we're taking for granted about our interfaces.
Igor, do you think it's possible to define the metaverse in one sentence?
I think it's not only possible, but it's kind of been done. Classical definition by Matthew Ball and over the years, and he updated it a bit in his book in terms of the interconnected network of immersive experiences, and ultimately it's the next generation of the internet, or three-dimensional, more immersive, more interactive. It could be decentralized, and I realize that it's more than one sentence, but you can probably squeeze it into one. Now, that said, the definition doesn't really tell you what it does in the practical sense. Whether you're enjoying a tourism trip in 3D, and that is metaverse, or you may be at work, doing something really detailed with augmented reality, those are different elements. I don't think about them as a metaverse.
Maybe, a lot of people say it's the next internet, right? So yeah, for sure, it is, allowing us to communicate and visualize much better. And also, what I think is that right these days, a lot of people are thinking that it's gonna be just virtual worlds, right? Like it allows us to connect to virtual worlds. But on the other hand, I think Metaverse also allows us to connect to a real world location, a remote location as well. And I think that is very important.
Can I put you on the spot and ask if you can summarize or define what the metaverse is in one sentence? In one sentence.
It's whatever you want it to be. That would be my one sentence. But no, look, it's a term. I mean, it is a term that a lot of people are using in different ways. So in that sense, it is whatever you want it to be. I think that the two, camps, that kind of wave the metaverse flag, one is kind of the crypto Web3, decentralized ownership and all that sort of stuff. Like there's definitely a camp there. And the other camp is kind of the 3D virtual worlds type of, XR spatial computing type of camp. I don't care who's right or wrong. Like I just am so over, 12 plus years of semantic arguments here. But I think that when I think about the metaverse, particularly those two camps, I think that what we're seeing is a platform shift from mobile and cloud into the metaverse, and what that's going to mean is a combination of 3D user experiences combined with open protocols, and open commerce.
What I think the metaverse is an extension of the real world into virtual worlds. That's it for at the moment. I would say right now this is what I think is. Maybe in the future we can add another little word where we can say something like the metaverse is an extension of the real world into interconnected virtual worlds. So this is what I think actually.
Do you think it's possible to define the metaverse in one sentence?
Well, so the simple answer is not yet. I don't think. I think there's a pretty big diversity of thought and interests on what the metaverse is. I think at best you can say it's, it involves It's a sort of the coming together of a number of technologies, including Web3, crypto, VR. I mean, everything from how it's developed to how you consume it, how you participate in it, still yet to sort of crystallize to a singular picture.